o era già coperta di neve quella zona? C'è stato un periodo di decomposizione prima di essere surgelato, diciamo?
This is a quite interesting question, and I deal a lot with this sort of question because there are quite different assumptions. From the very beginning, there was the assumption he died in autumn, and then during autumn he was covered with snow, and then he desiccated there and was embedded in ice. According to the physical properties, what we have in the air up there, as well in the snow, it's impossible to desiccate a body down to 12 to 14% of water content, like the mummy has now, within a snow cover. If the body is embedded in snow, it can only lose 30% of his water content. So the idea, the original idea, according to the preservation of the mummy, is wrong. What we know now is that first he desiccated. No, excuse me. First he was lying in a waterish situation, to be correct. Then he desiccated, and then he became embedded in snow and ice. So this is the correct following of the situation. And let me explain. If we have a demise in autumn, it seems to be plausible to have very quick snow and then a desiccation in snow and a very good preservation. So therefore, Spindler assumed this was the correct way. According to physical properties of snow and the physical properties of the body, it can only lose 30% of water. We know he had around about 55 kilograms, so he should have a weight of around about 40 kilograms nowadays. But the body has a weight of around about 12 kilograms. So it's much more less, and this desiccated much more quicker. So this desiccation took place in springtime when he came up there, and the fact is that we know he lost all his hair and he lost the outer epidermis. And this is only possible if he is submerged for more than 3 to 6 weeks in a period. Then he loses this outer part of skin and he loses his hair. Afterwards, he's going to desiccate, and then he was preserved. He's not desiccated before, because if he desiccates before, all the muscle fibers, as well as the skin where he had his finger and toenails and the hair, are desiccated also, and they are not able to be rehydrated in a way so that we have a loss of nails and hair. So we can't explain this. And therefore we know that the preservation took place in a waterish environment first, losing parts of his skin, then becoming desiccated, which occurs very quick. Up there, if you have high wind, this occurs within a few days, and then we have the body embedded in ice. And we have the unique situation up there, because according to the morphology of the gully and the boulder there, and the loss of everything, if we had a lot of melting water coming in, then this body could have been also run over the ridge on one part of this gully and lost. So it's really a fortune that we have this body captured up there on the mummy boulder.
Ci sono altre...
Se non ho capito male, lei ha affermato che la faretra aveva una lunghezza superiore a quella media delle frecce. Quale sarebbe il motivo di questa maggior capienza della faretra? Grazie.
It's not the quiver, it's the arrow shafts. The arrow shafts have overlength. So all his arrows he had used an overlength. And usually the use of overlength is a status symbol. If we take the long bow, what we had, the Iceman had a size of 1.60. The bow had a size of 1.82. Again, this long bow is a status symbol. So these oversizes are mainly seen as status symbols.
Se non ho capito male, Ezio è morto perché è stato colpito da una freccia e in pochi minuti è deceduto. Questo significa quindi che sul luogo c'era qualcun altro. Volevo avere conferma di questo, anche perché è un luogo che è distante, molto distante da qualsiasi alpeggio, conosco il luogo. E volevo capire se questo era in relazione col fatto che lui nei movimenti dei suoi ultimi giorni fosse tornato al paese nativo e poi da lì se ne fosse andato perché ha avuto problemi con gli abitanti, se non ho capito male. E quindi qualcuno di questi l'avrebbe inseguito? E infine un'ultima domanda. Sui giornali spesso quando si leggono articoli su questo fatto vengono sempre date delle tesi molto, diciamo, scontate come sicure. Invece qui mi pare di capire, era un po' quello che mi domandavo anch'io, siamo nell'ambito, come è normale che sia, trattandosi di un evento di 5.000 e passa anni fa, di ipotesi, queste voglio dire che abbiamo ricostruito più plausibili di altre, ma diciamo non definitive? Questa era un po' la seconda domanda.
Well, according to the situation that he was shot, we have to assume that there was a second person at least up there. There is no doubt. The incidents, what happened up there 5,300 years ago, are a big part and matter of speculations. And some of them made it to become a hypothesis. But overall, we have to say that if it is a crime scene, in this case, 5,300 years ago, we only have too few evidences to clear up in this case. So the main thing concerning the demise or the death of the Iceman is that a lot of it will still be speculations and open to everyone who can suggest how things happened up there. I assume it might be quite difficult to reconstruct the whole thing, and I'm not that interested what happened up there. I think it's much more important to know the environment in this case and how many people lived there. So we need first to answer in this case, did there Neolithic people live in the Schnalz Valley or not? Because we are in such a remote area up there, so that it could have been everything. He could have been an outlaw, he could have been killed by others, and it could be a conflict in between hunters, and you can think of many of explanations. But the first thing is that we need to know more about the